I'm Madhavdas G. On the show later, we'll be bringing you some of the numbers that are coming up from Bihar. But first up, our top focus remains on the Delhi blast investigation, which has taken a chilling turn, uncovering what officials are calling a white-collar terror network operating under the guise of medicine. Investigators have identified over 5 doctors suspected of links to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, exposing a web of professionals turned operatives. From an AK-47 recovered inside a hospital locker to 3 tons of explosives moved through Faridabad and a Pulwama-born doctor driving the explosive-laden car that blew up near the Red Fort. Various details that are coming in fact, as far as the well-organized module is concerned. Now, clearly, this is not a lone wolf strike. And at the center of this network is Dr. Shaheen, who's believed to have been radicalized by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now, she's suspected to be a key member of the busted Faridabad module. An AK-47 rifle was found in a car registered in her name, and investigators believe that she transported explosive material to Faridabad for another accused, that is Dr. Muzammil, who later identified her as well. Now, Dr. Shaheen is said to be a resident of Lucknow and was employed at the Al-Falah University in Faridabad. According to sources, she had been tasked with creating a women's wing for the Jaish-e-Mohammed with a mission of recruiting women in India. Let's get you more details on the same. What exactly are we telling you? This is in fact the inside scoop. Allegedly handpicked to lead Jaish-e-Mohammed's Women's Brigade. That's the information coming in. Let's also get out more information on the screen. She was tasked with radicalizing women for recruitment. We also know that she's a person who was asked to establish the Jamaat-ul-Momineen. Masood Azhar's sister, Sadia, has allegedly handpicked Shaheen, is what investigators are telling us, and she was in contact with JM handlers across the border. She drove the radicalization efforts via social media, is what we are also told. And this clearly, of course, is as far as the profile of Dr. Shaheen Shahid is concerned. Let's quickly take a look at some of the reactions that have come in. We spoke to family members who were in fact interrogated by the Jammu and Kashmir police as well as the Lucknow police. Listen to what they had to say.
3 बच्चे हैं, बड़ा है मोहम्मद शुएब जो मेरे साथ यहाँ रहता है, ठीक है। दूसरी हैं शाहीन सईद जिनके बारे में आप जिक्र कर रहे हैं, लेकिन मुझे यकीन नहीं है इसलिए बता रहा हूँ मैं। तीसरे थर्ड हैं परवेज सईद अंसारी। बात अभी 1 महीने पहले लगे हमसे बात हुई उनकी, 1 महीने शाहीन से।
अच्छा, शाहीन से।
हाँ,
परवेज से कब आखिरी बात हुई?
हर हफ्ते होती है बात। कल मेरी नहीं हुई इसलिए बात, कल मैं एक शादी में था।
अच्छा, किसी डॉक्टर मुजम्मिल का आपने नाम सुना?
हमने कभी ना उनके मुंह से सुना है, ना हम मुजम्मिल को जानते हैं।
The prime suspect at the center of the Delhi blast investigation has now been identified. According to sources, this man is Dr. Umar Nabi. Let's tell you more about him. He's a resident of Pulwama. He's the one who drove the explosive-laden car, and of course, he's linked to the Faridabad terror module. He's a close associate of Dr. Adeel. Rathar, of course, also somebody who worked at the Faridabad Medical College. He was employed at the Al-Falah Medical College and part of the radicalized group of doctors. This group has been active on encrypted channels, and a senior resident doctor at GMC Anantnag did MD in medicine at GMC Srinagar as well. The focus is now also firmly on the Al-Falah Medical College, what many today are calling the terror lab of Faridabad. Another person whose role is now under the scanner is that of Muzammil Shakil. This doctor who was arrested on the 30th of October over his role in the emergence of Jaish-e-Mohammed posters in Srinagar. What really is the profile of Dr. Muzammil Shakil as well as Dr. Shaheen Shahid and Dr. Umar Nabi? These are the 3 individuals who have in fact come under the scanner. But let's take a look at what this individual has particularly done. Dr. Muzammil Shakil. He's a professor at the Al-Falah Varsity. He managed emergency wing. He taught medical students is what we know, and he lived on the college campus as well. His role is renting rooms in Dhauj, Faridabad. The rooms are just about 500 meters from the Al-Falah campus. On the 8th of November, 358 kilograms of explosives were found in room 1. On the 10th of November, 2,563 kilograms of explosives that are found in room number 2. And of course, as far as Dr. Shaheen is concerned, we've already told you she was also employed at the Al-Falah varsity. AK-47 was found in Dr. Shaheen's car. This is what we already know. And Dr. Umar Nabi, employed at the Al-Falah University, suicide bomber in the Red Fort blast is what we know. So these 3 doctors are the ones who are at the center of the entire plot. Of others are, of course, those who are associated with them in different capacities. Now, we have some investigation details coming in. The initial investigation has put the focus on a certain Maulvi Irfan, a former paramedical officer at the GMC Srinagar, and ex-imam who allegedly played a key role in radicalizing these medical students. All 3 main suspects are believed to have Jaish-linked ideological ties, forming the core of the Faridabad Delhi module. Let's go right across to Suhail, who's joining us for more on this. Bhavtosh Singh also joins us on the broadcast. Suhail, coming to you first, this is very significant. The person who is linked to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, Maulvi Irfan, is the one who is alleged to have influenced these individuals. Where did this indoctrination take place? Over how long a period was it? Was it at the time that they were all studying in Srinagar? Take us through the details, Suhail. What are the investigators suspecting?
Yes, exactly. The security agencies are investigating the role of Maulvi Irfan, who is from South Kashmir, Shopian district. In fact, was working at Government Medical College Srinagar as a paramedic staffer previously. And now security agencies are basically investigating his role in radicalizing these 3 doctors at Government Medical College Srinagar. Remember, 2 of them have in fact gone to this Government Medical College Srinagar. They are pass outs of this medical college. Dr. Adeel and Dr. Muzammil Shakil, both of them have passed out in fact in 2017-2018. And Maulvi Irfan is someone who security agencies are in fact intelligence agencies believe that he has ties with Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit, and it is he who has played crucial role in radicalizing these in fact doctors at Government Medical College Srinagar. So I have to mention here that the investigation of Jammu and Kashmir police has started with posters appearing in Naugam area of Srinagar. 3 individuals from Naugam were picked up for their role in poster in fact pasting, and then police got this Maulvi Irfan. From Maulvi Irfan, there in fact links started coming up, and Dr. Adeel, Dr. Muzammil Shakil and Dr. Umar came under the scanner of security forces, and from poster to plot, Jaish-e-Mohammed terror conspiracy got exposed. Jammu and Kashmir police was already on Dr. Umar, and we had conversation with the sister-in-law of Dr. Umar today in Pulwama, where in fact
we'll put out that particular conversation you had as well, Sahid Suhail, because that's very significant. You managed to speak to the family members. We'll certainly put that out, but there's more breaking news coming in at the moment. Sources saying the Delhi police is to submit an initial report to the Ministry of Home Affairs detailing their findings on the sequence of events that led to the car blast at Lal Killa. This report is expected to provide a preliminary understanding of how the incident unfolded. Bhavtosh Singh is joining us for more on this. Bhavtosh, once this report is submitted, what are we going to expect from there on? Because we do know that the NIA, the NSG teams were on ground. Is it the NIA that is now going to finally investigate this matter? What are your sources telling you on what we can expect next?
Well, the NIA has taken over the investigation. In fact, even as we speak, the teams from NIA are right there behind that tent area, and they are investigating the case. The documentation process has started. But Delhi Police is the first responder. The Delhi Fire Service is the first responder. So obviously, they will submit an initial report to the Home Ministry, giving the entire sequence of event, which in any crime scene is the most important, as to how the calls were made, how they reached the spot, and whether there is any connection. Obviously, there is a connection between the huge seizure of explosives that had taken place in Faridabad, whether tip-off was given to them, whether the procedures were followed, the standard operating procedures were followed, why that car, that one I-20 was allowed to bypass so many toes, and those CCTV footage we have all seen. The car virtually had a seamless movement from Faridabad till here. So it could be possible that the Home Ministry might take a strict stern action against the police also. Madhav, remember this, there is a security alert in the capital right from the day when Operation Sindoor happened, and we all have seen this car was not stopped at any checkpoints, and it happened at a time when the J&K police was carrying out raids and searches, and everyone knew that Dr. Umar had escaped. So these things would have to be answered not only by the Delhi police, but also by the Haryana police, which had a prior information and a tip-off from the J&K police.
Bhavtosh as well as Sohail, thank you so much for joining us with all those inputs. Let's quickly take this across to our guest now. Joining us is Lieutenant General S.L. Narasimhan, defense expert and adjunct distinguished distinguished fellow for China and National Security Studies at Gateway House. We have Lalit Ambardar, activist, joining us. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer, also with us on the show. Very clearly, if you look at the profiles of these individuals, Lieutenant General S.L. Narasimhan, the manner in which they have been indoctrinated, the manner in which they've managed to slowly amass, these huge volume of ammonium nitrate over a period of time, if we go by what the investigators are telling us currently, and of course the investigation will reveal more details, it's a very, very clear-cut plan that they had. The big question is, what really were they plotting? One, of course, explosion took place yesterday, but it could have been a lot worse than what we saw take place last evening. Lieutenant General.
Thank you very much for getting me on your show. See, this is a very serious thing that has been happening over a period of time. As you can take your mind back, even in the earlier incident that have taken place, these modules are actually activated and they're already placed. They're radicalized slowly using social media and other media. And then you find that these things come up slowly. And the other thing that is of worry is the amount of explosives that have been unearthed yesterday. That is about almost 2 tons of explosives. That is phenomenal. I mean, if that was to go at some place which is more crowded and more strategically located, it would have created havoc. So that is something that is worrisome. The second thing is the use of social media to radicalize various elements is something that we have been seeing over a period of time. I think this is an area, again, which is very, very difficult to control, but we need to take measures to ensure that the social media is well monitored and then such activities are actually brought under control. However, we must remember only a couple of things. One, this is not the first and last time such an incident is happening. It will continue to happen and we need to be on the guard all the time. That is point number one. Point number two, the Jaish-e-Mohammed's activities are well known, and that is an organization which have been creating trouble for us for quite some time now. I think that is an organization that we need to keep in mind. The third point is Operation Sindoor is only having a pass. And if you take your mind back, Pakistan has already announced a NOTAM for air and naval areas. So that is something that they seem to be worried that probably India will react to this. So these are issues that are emerging. We need to wait and watch as to how they develop further.
Right. Lalit Ambardar, at this point of time, a very important point that Lieutenant General Narasimhan made, that as far as Pakistan is concerned, we've seen how it's up to no good, as far as ties with Bangladesh is concerned, as far as trying to create trouble within India is concerned. And in this particular case, what is quite alarming is how they have managed to enter a network of doctors who have been radicalized over a period of time, whether through other individuals or through social media. The big question is that how do we guard against this? Because we are looking at extremely highly educated professionals who they've been able to radicalize in this manner.
Madhav, I think the problem is that we don't go back to the history. Kashmir Jihad has been bleeding India for the past more than 30 years. It saw genocidal eviction, genocide of Aboriginal Kashmiri Hindus. Yet we have not been able to understand what we have on hand in Kashmir in terms of jihad. See, it's this Islamist arc that arises from Middle East, traverses Afghanistan, Pakistan. Kashmir is the Himalayan end of it. And their goal is does not end in Kashmir. It's a fight of Ghazwa-e-Hind. Their aim is to capture Lal Killa in Delhi. Kashmir happens to be a passage. And Pakistan happens to be epicenter of this global jihad. That's it. But don't forget, Kashmir Jihad has witnessed doctors, engineers right in the beginning. Dr. Guru was one of the best known cardiologists in India that time. He was one of the founders of Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front. Then he died in internecine war. He was killed by his own co-jihadists in Kashmir. He was one of the best cardiologists in Kashmir. And then you had Boeing strange pilot in America. He died. He was killed in an encounter in Kashmir, in Udhampur, Kashmir-born terrorist. Bilal, this Kafil Ahmed, Bangalore-born engineer. He went all the way to England to study aeronautics engineering, space engineering. You know what he did? He joined a Jordanian fidayeen and blew themselves up at Glasgow airport. And you know what the target? Kindergarten kids. So it's not new that we are seeing it now. You remember 2005 serial blast in Delhi, Diwali on the Diwali. So many people were killed. The mastermind was one of the guys is Adeel, no, not Adeel, Tariq Ahmad Dar, Kashmiri jihadist, right? He was sentenced to 10 years for just
so there are a lot of examples. There are a lot of examples in the past, but my question is more aimed at the future. Sanjay Sahai, now, we have our colleagues telling us that there was some kind of information sharing that took place, but despite that, it took some amount of time. Of course, one way of looking at it is that a huge, perhaps set of blasts were, in fact, or there's updates coming in from the HM's meeting that has just concluded. We can see those vehicles leaving, the top officials who were present at that particular location. And now, in fact, we understand that even the HM has departed from there. Sanjay Sahai, coming back to you. One way of looking at it is, of course, that a major disaster was averted. Who knows, serial blasts, etc., could have perhaps been on the mind of these individuals who were the perpetrators. But the other way of looking at it is certainly as to whether somewhere or the other there was a failure, because it's a huge amount of ammonium nitrate that has been, collected. Even if it's over a period of time, could perhaps agencies, police, be a little more alert here? Sanjay Sahai.
See, nobody can deny the fact that it was a commendable job as far as the cache of explosives and weapons which were captured or seized a couple of days back, and the way the investigation started from Jammu Kashmir to Faridabad and all across North India till Lucknow. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But the bigger problem is where we have developed a level of complacency that we have been able to win the war on terror and things are all hunky-dory. Terror has a very cyclical sort of a nature, and it continues and it's persistent over decades. You can call it at least last 75, 80 years since the time we were bifurcated. So this time when the things are hot from the Indian side, then they get into lull. And that lull is a time to recoup, to change their strategy, to organize all their channels. And you have seen they moved from a well-orchestrated bigger attacks to lone wolves. From lone wolves, they got into a very hybrid sort of a warfare. And it has gone on and on. The biggest challenge, a couple of things which really concern us. One is, how does the movement of explosives happen? You have checkposts everywhere, you have intelligence everywhere, you have literally all we can claim to be having there. And yesterday, that movement of that vehicle itself, even if you come to brass tacks, even our vehicle licenses, number plates, they are not being transferred to the rightful people. We have a huge database, but I am not convinced of the fact that that database is real. And that is precisely what was proven yesterday. I am not sure of the fact that our toll gates are real. I am not sure of the fact whether our physical checks are real. So that is on the one part of the story. The second part of the story is technologists and white-collar people have been in the forefront of terrorism since times immemorial. And it is not only in India, it is the world over. So what these people have very intelligently done is to move away from engineers and technicians to the noble profession, what medicine is. And that provided an excellent sort of an garb. I think their radicalization would have started long time back. And we are talking about one person who is there in GMC. But there are lots of other people. How many of the faculty members have been radicalized to radicalize these people?
Over a period of time.
And who have been the handlers at the other end.
Absolutely.
Then the social media. Then the social media. I think there's a huge group. I'm sure that they would be working on it. But today there is something which is known as the open source intelligence.
Absolutely.
And open source intelligence, you are able to connect generate things, create
we need to
People
certainly
who are
monitor the
outside-
open source information better. That's of course something that General Narasimhan also referred to. But I'm going to quickly get in a word from my colleague Pragya, who's at the location where in fact that meeting has just concluded. Pragya, what are your sources telling you as far as this crucial meeting is concerned? What really is going to be the focus of the government here on? Any details of the investigation that you can share with us?
Madhav, the intent of the government has been made very clear by Mr. Amit Shah when he took to social media and said that each and everyone, those who were involved in this particular blast, in fact, they are going to face full wrath of this investigation agencies, and in fact no one is going to be spared. This is the intent of the government, and in fact this whole meeting also saw formally the investigation being handed out to NIA. In fact, Delhi police and other agencies are going to assist them in this investigation, and many investigative agencies and other sources in the ministry said that they believe that there are more to it, and in fact there are many more who are still yet to be apprehended. So a full-on scale to arrest and apprehend those who might be involved directly or indirectly is going to be unleashed at various locations where what we are given to understand. And also this is a 3-hour-long meeting that HM took after the morning meeting, which also went on for 2 hours. This also shows that government has sprung into the action the moment they got the feedback that this blast is not normal, there is more to it, and this could be a terror attack, and that is why the FIR has been filed under UAPA sections. The government, not just Mr. Amit Shah, but the directions have come from the Prime Minister itself. Prime Minister monitored, and was in touch with the investigation agencies throughout the night, Madhav, and in fact he spoke about this when he was in Bhutan today.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Pragya, thank you so much for joining us with that quick update. I'd like to thank our panelists, Mr. Sanjay Sahai, Lalit Ambardar, as well as General Narasimhan, for joining us with your insights on the story.